In February 2009, the United States witnessed one of the most brutal murders linked to honor-based violence. Aasiya Zubair Hassan, a talented, ambitious woman, was beheaded by her husband, Muzammil Hassan, in their workplace at Bridges TV, a television network they had built together. This case horrified Americans, not just because of the gruesome nature of the murder, but also due to its deeper implications: domestic violence hidden behind the veil of honor, culture, and control. Aasiya's death became a wake-up call, pushing discussions on domestic abuse, honor killings, and the struggles of women trying to escape abusive marriages. Aasiya Zubair Hassan was a Pakistani-American woman known for her intelligence, resilience, and kind nature. She was educated, well-spoken, and deeply passionate about women's empowerment. Those who knew her described her as gentle, yet strong-willed, a woman determined to carve her own path despite the challenges she faced. She met Muzammil Hassan, a Pakistani-born businessman, in the late 1990s. Muzammil, an educated and charismatic man, seemed like the ideal husband. In 2000, they got married, and Aasiya moved to New York with him to start a new life. What seemed like a promising future soon turned into a nightmare of abuse, control, and fear. Muzammil Hassan was not a first-time offender when it came to domestic violence. He had been married twice before, and both ex-wives accused him of abuse. Despite this, he maintained a respected public image. Behind closed doors, Aasiya endured years of physical, emotional, and psychological abuse. Muzammil controlled every aspect of Aasiya's life: her finances, her movements, and even her social interactions. He would monitor her phone calls, emails, and who she spent time with. Over time, the abuse escalated. Muzammil would beat her during arguments and humiliate her in front of their children. He often blamed Aasiya for his violent outbursts, convincing her that she was the problem. Despite her suffering, Aasiya stayed for years. Like many abuse victims, she likely felt trapped, both by societal expectations and by fear for her children's safety. However, in early 2009, she finally decided to break free. On February 6, 2009, Aasiya filed for divorce and obtained a restraining order against Muzammil. This was a bold and dangerous move. Many women in abusive relationships struggle to leave due to fear of retaliation. In cases of honor-based violence, leaving is often seen as a betrayal, and women face severe consequences. For Muzammil, this was unacceptable. He had always been in control of Aasiya, and the thought of her leaving, taking back her power, was something he couldn't tolerate. This decision sealed her fate. On February 12, 2009, just 6 days after filing for divorce, Aasiya went to Bridges TV's office in Orchard Park, New York. Muzammil had asked her to meet him there to discuss business matters. She had no idea what awaited her. Inside the office, Muzammil ambushed her. He attacked her with a hunting knife. He stabbed her multiple times in a fit of rage. In the most horrific act of violence, he beheaded her. It was an execution, a murder meant to send a message. In Muzammil's mind, Aasiya had dishonored him by seeking a divorce. This was his twisted idea of justice. Hours later, Muzammil Hassan walked into a police station and calmly confessed. "My wife is dead," he told the officers. The officers, thinking it was a domestic dispute, didn't realize the gruesome scene that awaited them. When they arrived at the office, they found Aasiya's headless body lying in a pool of blood. The crime was so brutal that even the most experienced officers were shaken. Muzammil showed no remorse. In 2011, Muzammil Hassan went on trial for second-degree murder. His defense strategy was shocking. He claimed he was the real victim. He accused Aasiya of being abusive toward him. He said he acted in self-defense after years of being mistreated. He tried to paint himself as a broken, desperate man driven to violence. However, prosecutors and witnesses exposed the truth. Aasiya had endured years of documented abuse. His previous wives testified about his violent history. Friends and co-workers described Aasiya's fear and suffering. The jury saw through his lies. In February 2011, he was found guilty and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Aasiya's murder wasn't just another domestic violence case. It was an honor killing on American soil. Her death sparked outrage and awareness. Domestic violence awareness. advocacy groups used Aasiya's case to highlight the dangers of abusive relationships and encourage victims to seek help. Honor killings in the U.S. The case brought attention to honor-based violence in Western societies, proving that it wasn't just an issue in certain cultures. Women's empowerment. Aasiya became a symbol of strength, a woman who tried to escape but was tragically silenced. Organizations dedicated to fighting domestic abuse held vigils, awareness campaigns, and discussions about how to better protect women like Aasiya. Aasiya Zubair Hassan's story is heartbreaking but not forgotten. Her tragic murder exposed the deadly reality of honor-based violence and domestic abuse, sparking conversations that continue today. Though she was silenced in the most brutal way, her story lives on, a reminder that no one should have to suffer in silence. Her case urges us to protect survivors, speak out against violence, and ensure that justice is served. Aasiya deserved a future, and while her life was taken too soon, her courage to leave an abusive relationship continues to inspire others.